Okay, welcome back, and we're going to do the rudder, but you're not going to be able to see this like you did the others because I don't feel like holding the camera way up there. I'll read it off to you. So the rudder expectation recommendation is 1 inch left and right, and on low rates at 70% we get rudder inch and 5/8, inch and 5/8 left and right. So I'm gonna, instead of 70% on low rates, I want it just below the recommendation. So I'm gonna go down to 40% and see what we get. And so 40% is 1 inch left and right. So let's go even further. Say 35. Yeah, that's 7/8 and 7/8. So 35 is less than the recommendation. Mid rates probably going to go all the way down to 60. And I want more than 1 inch. And that's 1.5 inches. That's still too much. I'm going to go down to 50. Okay, that's 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. Inch and not quite a quarter. Inch and not quite a quarter. So I'm going to go to 55. So there we go. There's a good 1.25 inches. And a good 1.25 inches that way. So I'm going to go with 55 for the mid rates. Higher rates are going to be, whoa, it's going to knock the meter off here. So it's still 2 inches left and 2 inches right. I'm going to leave the high rates for really wild acros. You know what? Even for me, that's wild. I'm going to put the high rate down to 80, which makes it easy to change. Okay, yeah, that's less than 2 inches, about 1 inch and 7/8. Okay. And I think I'm going to do the same thing for the elevator on high rates instead of 100%. So the elevator instead of 100%, I'm going to put that back down to about 80 as well. And let's see, mid rates was 65. Yeah. So I'm going to do that, and then for the ailerons, instead of 100%, high rates, I'm going to move those down to 80 as well. I don't want to stress this airplane too much, and even at 80%, I'm getting a hell of a lot of throw there. So tell you what I'm going to do. Ailerons, I'm going to let the aileron go back up to 90. Alright, so that's it for the rudder. And as I get more comfortable flying the airplane, I might move those reduced high rates back up to 100%, but I got to see how the airplane flies before I do that. So let me add a little word of explanation about the setup that I just did here for the control throws for the rudder, elevator, and ailerons. First off, you noticed my original thought was to have the low rate be below the recommendation. And I didn't explain why on the elevator, because the recommendation on the elevator was 3/4, and I set the low rate to 7/8, which is higher than the recommendation. So why did I do that? Well, first off, this airplane is going to fly slowly because it's a big wing, and it's going to fly slow before it stalls completely. And one of the things I'm going to find out is the stall speed when I fly it. I will likely put a GPS unit in the machine so that the telemetry GPS can tell me how fast it's going. But when it's going slow and you're landing, you want a little bit more elevator control than usually what they recommend. So I put it close, but not exactly, just slightly over, so the elevator was sitting at 7/8. The ailerons was just a little less. That's okay. Even the aileron is going to be very effective because it's a huge aileron. And even if I'm using the flaperons with full flaps down, those ailerons will be very effective even at the slow speed. And but you're not going to use ailerons very much at the slow speed. If you need any directional change when you're getting close to landing, you're probably going to use rudder anyways. So the ailerons, I think, were fine. The rudder at low rate, I just have to, until I can see it fly and feel it, how effective the rudder is. It is a large rudder, but as you land and need some directional control, especially for crosswinds, it's hard to judge. So expect during the maiden flight or the second flight to see me correct some of these depending upon how well it flies. Hopefully I can find a nice, sunny, warm, calm day to go do the maiden flights on this. So that's a bit of an explanation I want to make sure you understood. And so thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.